The Bay Area coast, a girl and her grandfather swept into the ocean just south of Half Moon Bay.
No matter how often you do it and no matter how many bad outcomes you have or how many good outcomes you have, it never gets easier to lose somebody.
The 5-year-old rescued yesterday did not survive, and tonight the search for her grandfather has come to an end. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Meebeck.
And I'm Julie Hayner. The little girl died at the hospital today. KTVU's Zach Sauce is in Half Moon Bay now with the latest on what happened. Zach.
Yeah, Julie, the U.S. Coast Guard making that tough decision to call off the search for that missing man, a grandfather, around 1 p.m. today after spending nearly a full day scouring the waters off of Half Moon Bay for him. And we learned this news just as we also learned the news that his granddaughter passed away in the hospital after initially being rescued yesterday. Both of them swept to sea amid warnings of sneaker waves.
The skies over Half Moon Bay silent Sunday evening, hours after a frantic search for a missing swimmer was called off.
A 54-year-old male that had been swept off of Martins Beach.
The 911 call coming in just before 1:30 in the afternoon Saturday. A grandfather and his 5-year-old granddaughter pulled out by the powerful surf. Firefighters first to respond.
And they were able to recover the little girl off the beach.
Rushed to the hospital where officials say she died on Sunday. Meantime, the U.S. Coast Guard continuing to search for her grandfather, a chopper overhead, and below a rescue boat.
Those two assets searched for most of the afternoon and into the evening.
The pair swept away amid a beach hazard warning by the National Weather Service.
Just because of possible sea conditions and also possible sneaker waves. There were warnings that were put out there.
At San Francisco's Ocean Beach Saturday, firefighters called in to help a surfer dragged out to sea amid the rough currents. And later, crews deployed onto San Francisco Bay to rescue 3 aboard a sailboat stranded and headed for rocks in the choppy waters.
Meanwhile, the Coast Guard continued to search for the 54-year-old.
That search, spanning 100 square miles, ended Sunday afternoon.
No matter how often you do it, it never gets easier to lose somebody.
First responders now shifting their focus to the family.
Our hearts are with them. We want them to know that we are thinking about them.
And so far, officials have yet to release the names of either of those 2 victims. As for that beach hazard warning, it expired at noon today, but the U.S. Coast Guard still reminding anyone planning to head to the beach, if you've not been in the water in a while, they say you should review those basic safety measures. Julie?
Yeah, just a tragic, horribly sad story. Zach, do we know where they were from at all? I know they haven't released their identities, but do we know if they were from this area or just visiting this area?
Yeah, no, not at this time. We still have learned no details really about who they were. We just know that they were a grandfather and his granddaughter. Just a real tragedy.
Yeah, just a 5-year-old little girl. All right.